Firstly, our motivation comes from the principle of equality and equity. We believe that every young individual should have equal opportunities, and where these opportunities are not sufficient, innovative ideas must be devised to make them possible according to the circumstances of each young individual. Secondly, we want to shorten the gap of inequality that was widened during the pandemic, especially for the tribal and indigenous communities. And thirdly, we are inspired by every humanitarian out there who is doing their part to make the world a better place for us all.
Young people in tribal communities and in orphanages have a limited access to today's technology, to learning opportunities outside of the classroom, and also to extracurricular activities. The pandemic has shown that these groups of young people are dependent on social organizations when it comes to educational purposes. And now that social contact has become limited, social organizations are less likely to be invested in these groups. The result of that is lessened social opportunities out of their daily routine. And with the current social economic crisis in our country and the COVID pandemic, these groups of young people are being left behind and are experiencing a growing gap of digital transformation and resources. In this digital era, we need to embrace the digital transformation, and we need to make sure that it's accessible to all, because this has an impact on your education, your physical, your mental health, and also to your income.
Firstly, small hubs, for example at schools in the interior, which already have the basic infrastructure in place, should be created, supplied with the necessary equipment and tools to have access to the internet. Some of the finances can also be allocated to buy the necessary materials for the community to build transportation to reach the schools more easily, seeing that their main mode of transport is by small boats. Through an online learning platform catered specifically for these groups, educational and instructional videos are created based on their needs and in their own language. Children in orphanages with disabilities, for example, children with a impairment, can have access to educational videos with sign language. A practical example are videos to transform the craftsmanship of the tribal and indigenous community in a self-sustainable or profitable manner, to make these groups have access to mental health services virtually, cutting costs. In short, to empower these groups to create the infrastructure needed to not be left behind by the accelerated digital transformation. Once the infrastructure is set up, the opportunities are truly limitless.